Good morning, everyone. I am Shabina Fatma. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we are going to discuss about the techniques for the identification of saliva stains. We can get the saliva stains at a crime scene. It is very common, common body fluid present at a crime scene. So, the first we can go for alternate light source technique. Means we can go for lighting technique for observing the saliva stains. If we wear the orange goggles and observe at the crime scene, if we are searching for saliva stains, then the alternate light source will help in searching for the saliva stains. Fluorescence of saliva stain is means there is fluorescence of saliva stain, but it is less intense. Then we can also go for microscopic examination. Means if we observe the saliva stains, the slide of saliva stain under a microscope, and if there are buccal epithelial cells, then we can say that yes, it is a saliva stain due to the presence of what? Due to the presence of buccal epithelial cells under the microscope while we observe it. Then we can go for the other tests which determine the amylase activity, like starch iodine assay. What happened in starch iodine assay? That we know that our saliva has enzymes like, and this starch, the simpler form of carbohydrate starch, starch consists of amylose and amylopectin, and our saliva has amylase. So when we add iodine to the starch, and if we get dark blue color, it it simply means that due to amylase, the reaction gives dark blue color. And if the iodine reacts with amylopectin, then it will give reddish purple color. But amylase, it break the amylopectin chain, and the amylose got separated. So when we add the iodine to the starch, we get dark blue color. Then we can go for other tests also, like the radial gel diffusion. In radial gel diffusion, there is a agar gel coating. Means there is a plate and there is a agar gel coating, and there are we have to make the wells by punching it, and in this technique, the the size of the clear area, means there is a sample well, there are blue black coloration all over the plate, all over the coated plate, because of the iodine coated in it. But there are some white spaces, means there are some clear spaces also, due to the amount of amylase activity in the sample. Means here what happened in radial gel diffusion, the amount of clear area is directly proportional to the amount of amylase in this sample. So we can also get the concentration of amylase by linear standard curve. Means, then we can also go for other techniques, like we can go for colorimetric analysis. There is amylase substrate which is dye labeled. So the amylase, it break down and separated the dye. So and it separated the dye. So we can go for colorimetric analysis. We can go for Fadebas reagent. This Fadebas reagent is used in forensic science very much. And this Fadebas reagent, in this what happened, a small portion of the sample is cut and then placed in a tube, and then we can incubate it for 5 minutes at a temperature 37 degrees Celsius, and the reaction is stopped at an alkaline pH by addition of NaOH. And what happened, the amylase substrate, which we say that it is dry labeled, it is insoluble in water, but the amylase, it hydrolyzes the substrate and to generate blue color, and then we can measure using the spectrophotometer. Then we can go for confirmatory assay for saliva. We can use immunochromatographic assay as well as ELISA. In immunochromatographic assay, there are few techniques, like first, sample containing the amylases. Our sample which contain amylase means saliva sample is loaded into a sample well. We can load it in a sample well. Then the antigen is bind. Then antigen binds to that well which contains the anti-HSA antibody to form a complex, means it to form an antibody HSA complex. And there are two zones in this technique, test zone and control zone. At the test zone, the labeled complex binds to immobilized anti-human HSA antibody to form antibody HSA antibody sandwich. And at the control zone, the labeled anti-HSA antibody simply binds to the immobilized antiglobulin, that is to immobilized antibody, and is captured at the control zone. And we can also go for ELISA, means enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. In this technique, we can use the anti-HSA antibody. So the antibody coating is done in the well, and then we can apply the antigen. So in ELISA technique, first of all, an antibody coating is formed on a polystyrene plate. Then a sample, which obviously contains the antigen, is then added and binds to the antibody, and then form the antibody HSA complex, because HSA is our sample having antigen, and antibody which is sorbent in the plate, which is sorbent in the plate. Then the second antibody, that is anti-human HSA antibody, is added to form antibody antigen antibody complex. But this second antibody binds to another epitope of the antigen. Then the next, an enzyme labeled antibody is added to bind the sandwich, and bound antiglobulin can be detected. We can recall it, ELISA, in a simple technique. First of all, the antiglobulin, that is anti-HSA antibody, is sorbent in a plate. Then our sample containing HSA is bind to it to form HSA antibody complex. Then the second antibody, which is also anti-human HSA antibodies, is added to form antibody antigen antibody sandwich. But this second antibody binds to another epitope of an antigen. Then we bind, means an enzyme labeled antiglobulin is added to this sandwich, and bound antiglobulin can be detected. The enzyme catalyzes the substrate and produces colorimetric or fluorometric signals. So these are some of the techniques for the identification of saliva stains. Friends, if you like the video, then please do like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Have a good day. Jai Hind.